Well, thousands of Americans put their vacation plans on hold after the coronavirus gripped the airline industry. And now many of them are struggling to get back what they paid for those tickets. So Anna Werner has been looking into this. I should remind everyone, Anna, you are the CBS News National Consumer Investigative Reporter. You've been checking out some of the policies when it comes to airline tickets. I've had a lot of friends complain that all they got back was maybe a voucher for a ticket later on, and their argument is, we don't know when we'll be able to travel again. What have you learned about the policies?
So there's a lot of debate around the airline policies. So here's the way it works. If the airlines cancel a flight, they have to refund your money. Although we've heard complaints from consumers saying that airlines are trying to push them toward a voucher, you should know if they cancel the flight, they owe you a refund, and you can insist on that. Now, if you cancel the flight, what they've basically said is if you booked a flight, most flights that you've booked at this point would be under this rule. Basically, they've said, look, we're not going to charge you a change fee, but you're not going to get a refund for a non-refundable ticket. What you're going to get is a voucher, and you can use it for a certain period of time, up from, say, a year from when your ticket, for example, from when the ticket was booked or when your flight date was. The problem with that from a lot of consumer advocate and members of Congress viewpoint is that they believe that because the tickets were canceled because of coronavirus, that people shouldn't just be stuck with a voucher. Because let's face it, you know, I have some of these vouchers already, as you can imagine. We travel a lot in our business, and you have to make sure to use them by the deadline. You have to make sure not to forget about them, remember what's in your account, and you've got to use them within that period of time. Now, as we look out further and further with the pandemic, it's not really clear at what point it will be a good idea for many people to get on planes. Certainly, if you have relatives who are older who have booked a cruise trip or sort of that dream destination trip, with family, you're not going to feel comfortable putting them on a plane or a cruise ship for a while. How long is a while? Nobody really knows. Then when you go to rebook, if everybody's rebooking at the same time, are you going to be able to use your voucher within the time limit that you have? So on the other hand, the airlines are saying, look, these are non-refundable tickets. We can't refund everybody. If we refund everybody who bought a non-refundable ticket, we'll be going into bankruptcy. And as you know, the airlines are under a lot of pressure. So there's pressure on both sides. There's a change.org petition out there that garnered some 250,000 signatures. There are groups like Consumer Reports and US PIRG who are making efforts on this. So we'll see, along with legislation, we'll see what happens in the end with this. But for now, if you booked the flight, what you might want to consider doing at the moment is wait. There's no pressure to change that flight, really. So wait as long as you can, because it's possible the airline might cancel the flight anyway, and if they do, you'll get a refund.
So, Anna, you also looked into Airbnbs and vacations. What kind of challenges are customers having there, and how should they address them?
Airbnb has said that, again, with certain date restrictions, you can go read on their website. But basically, if you booked anything before, say, March 14th, you should be able to get your money back. They're saying if you booked after March 14th, well, look, it was a pandemic as of March 14th, so, tough luck. But I think that some people are having problems. I've heard from a few people who are having problems with a particular host in a particular country. I think what you have to do is you have to work through Airbnb, and you have to keep plugging away at it, and you have to keep probably waiting on hold to try to get some of these things resolved or reaching out to them through the internet. But they have promised people that they can get their money back.
So I guess any other tips for people who have had travel plans and have had to cancel, whether it's Airbnb or travel or hotels or any other things that you might have booked?
So we've heard from people who have had complaints about a couple of things. One is sort of vacation packages. There were some people who booked vacation packages as opposed to just a flight. Seems like some of them are not happy because they're being told they can only have a voucher. Also, there are people who booked cruise trips who have said, a lot of these cruises have been canceled, but some have not. I heard about one who had a cruise trip in July that still has not been canceled. Well, it seems sort of illogical to think that many people are going to get on cruise ships in July. Maybe that will happen, but it doesn't seem likely at the moment. One thing to do is when it comes to cruises, keep in mind that a lot of the cruise companies right now are offering your money plus. So if you reschedule the trip or put it on hold for some time later in the future, they will give you, say, 120% of your value or 125%. I've even heard of cruise lines that are doubling your value. So if you think, look, we do want to go on a cruise, I do want to take that cruise vacation, I don't know when, but yeah, 2 years from now, I'd like to take that cruise vacation. Talk to the cruise line, see what dates are applicable, see how long you can hold on to it, and then you can say, look, if I do go ahead and put this into a voucher now, how much can you give me? You can try to bargain. You can try to negotiate with them. And then on the other vacations, you again, try to bargain with them. You might try calling more than once. Let's say you get, sometimes you get that operator who answers the phone who's not terrifically receptive. And you know how it is sometimes? You go, you know what, I'll just call them back later. You call them back later, the next day you get somebody else who's more helpful or more knowledgeable. Let's face it, not everybody who picks up the phone at one of these big companies has a really sophisticated understanding of all the policies. We wish they did, but they don't always. So be polite, but it's worth making a second try at it. And then you can always do what a lot of people have done, which is hit up Twitter, hit up Facebook, put it out there that you're not happy, put their hashtag or their identifier on it and say, hey, so-and-so vacations group, I'm not happy about this. And see if you get a quicker response. Sometimes people do get that by going to social media and complaining loudly. Let's face it, it works. Not always, but sometimes.
Yep. Squeaky wheel.
That's right.